it impact you, how you race, the fact that you're on probation?
It refrains me from not beating the shit out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions.
39 guys are going to try to whoop Kurt's ass. Y'all get to the car. Kurt, stay away from 39 guys. What the fuck does he want?
The 2013 Richmond race saw Kurt Busch and future team owner Tony Stewart get together coming off of turn number 4, with just a couple laps to go. Busch would put the bumper to Stewart, and with Stewart's displeasure, after the race, he would bang Kurt Busch's door down the backstretch, and then Kurt Busch would run into him. After the race, they had some interesting interviews to discuss what had happened on the racetrack.
Out on the racetrack, carried over here in the garage. And Kurt, your conversation between yourself and Tony Stewart, what took place?
So I don't know what the 14 was upset about. I got hit from behind. I got hit every which way. So did he. Kenseth moved us up out of the way at the end, so that's why I was upset with him. But hey, you know, everybody's free for all. We got a top 10. But the biggest thing here is 10 laps ago, this car didn't have a scratch on it. Now it's destroyed.
Whoa! How can he fit in there? I don't think he can.
87, one back.
Fine. I don't think we have any damage.
Yeah, 10-4. The 24 got into the 83 and knocked him into you. I mean, we might as well come in now and see what we got to do here.
Trouble in turn 11. Martin Truex Jr. goes around on the front bumper of Jeff Gordon. Gordon had to get hard on the binders because he was being pressured by Juan Pablo Montoya. What a big disappointment for Martin Truex Jr., who was having a great afternoon.
How the hell did he think he was going to dive bomb me like that? Apparently he had the 42 shoving him in the ass. I don't give a shit. I'm going to wreck them both. Seriously, I'm going to wreck them. Bye-bye, Jeff and Juan.
I apologize to him. I out to this stupid 42. He's about to piss me off.
Jeff Gordon and the two Miller Lite car never saw eye to eye. Whether it be Rusty Wallace, Kurt Busch, or Brad Keselowski, it felt like the 24 and the 2 car were always banging doors or intentionally crashing one another. And in 2010, Kurt Busch was the next victim on the list, as he would intentionally crash Jeff Gordon coming off of turn number 4 at Martinsville. Jeff Gordon would lay the bumper to Busch entering turn 3, and on the exit of the corner, Gordon would get paybacked by Kurt Busch, being spun out and damaging his race car.
The lead away in turn 1.
24 just moved to 2.
He'll come back and give us a shot, cross us over, and he'll wreck us. Yep.
Trouble on the front straightaway. Kurt Busch turns Jeff Gordon around, and Gordon makes hard contact with the inside retaining wall.
Well, that incident may spell the end of Jeff Gordon's championship hopes.
You know, Kurt Busch doesn't have a very long fuse, so, you know, either it was payback or he just got angry really quick and decided to wreck us.
That just shows the game that we're going to play. You know, one bump versus another bump, it still seems like the scorecard isn't even.
2010 was definitely an interesting year for Jeff Gordon, as he became in 2 altercations. One was at Martinsville with his race car, and 2 was with Jeff Burton physically. Jeff Burton would accidentally wreck Jeff Gordon under caution at Texas. This would infuriate Gordon, and rightfully so. Gordon would walk down to Jeff Burton after he got out of his race car to walk towards the ambulance. He would start shoving and shouting with Jeff Burton down the backstretch as the crowd erupted in cheers and the chaos broke out.
He went up to the wall where he was running. I went down to about the second group where I was running. And by the time we got in the middle of the corner, he just turned left and got on my door and got me really loose. And he said the sun got in his eyes. But then we got down, the caution came out, we got down into 1. You know, I just drove up next to him to show him my displeasure with what went on. And he just wrecked us, just flat out wrecked us, turned us right in the wall and collected himself. It was pretty stupid. And, you know, he admitted it later.
How surprised were you when Jeff came after you with the fifth?
I wasn't at all surprised. I went to go see him because I knew he was going to be mad. I knew he was going to be mad, and I fully expected it. You know, I don't blame him. You know, hell, I would have been mad if I was him too. I really don't blame him. You know, it's you know, he was mad, and I was right there, and he was wanting some of it.
He deserved a lot more than that, I can tell you that. You know, that kind of stuff is just ridiculous and uncalled for. And, you know, I mean, Jeff and I will, you know, I just like the guy too much that we'll be able to go on and race one another and stuff like that. I just couldn't believe how much respect I lost for a guy like Jeff to do something like that. I thought it was really stupid. And you know, I can't, sometimes I can't hold my emotions back, and believe it or not, I was holding them back right there.
Bristol is always a great race to put on some great action, and in 2008, it showed that. With Kyle Busch already being a hot-headed temperament driver, Carl Edwards was the one to try to put him in his place, and at Bristol when battling for the lead, Edwards and Busch would make contact, sending Busch up the racetrack and being moved out of the way. Kyle Busch, with an already dominant season in 2008, just wanted to pick up some more wins, but Edwards, hot on his heels, was ready to show him who was boss, and what would happen next would be amazing. Kyle Busch and Edwards would start banging doors, banging fenders, but ultimately Edwards was the one to pick up the checkered flag and the victory. He would intentionally crash Kyle Busch post-race and spin him out, and their post-race interviews were nothing but gold.
Awesome race. Great job today. Awesome day.
Carl Edwards mathematically locked in.
Getting a little nudge here from Kyle Busch. I don't know what's going on there.
They're pushing and shoving a little bit over there.
I don't know what that was all about.
I don't think anybody saw anything wrong with what Carl Edwards did there, except for Kyle Busch. He's not very happy about it, and that's always the case. You're going to have one guy that's not.
He hit me getting into turn one, which got me a little bit loose, shattered the rear tires, but you know, whatever. That's, you know, Carl's going to say he's sorry he didn't want to race that way because he always does, you know, Mr. Ed-like. So we'll take it, we'll go on, and, you know, we'll race him that way in a chase if that's the way he wants to race.
I couldn't get by him, and I couldn't get by him. And I just had to ask myself, would he do that to me? And he has before, so that's the way it goes. They keep talking about rivalries. We might have one now.
It's going, and you know, I tried to guard the inside right there at the end, and Vickers gave me a bump, and you know, I get it. I mean, I was trying to defend and hold my position, so we still came away with a 12th place finish. So you know, it was good to do that for GoDaddy. Obviously, Hendrick Engines was very strong today. I felt like I made a lot of passes, so. Yeah, I wonder if I made the most. I feel like I just passed all day, but.
And a crash on the front stretch. Carl Edwards and Clint Boyer are in it.
And Carl looks like has some damage to the right front fender. Yes.
And this will be very critical to his chances of making the chase.
Battling for the 12th position. Oh, I see Tony Stewart and Clint Boyer get together. And when Boyer goes down to dodge Tony, runs right in the side of Carl Edwards.
Pit, but a developing story with the 20 of Tony Stewart. He has been black flagged for rough driving.
Yeah, here you see him on the outside. He feels like he's getting squeezed up by Boyer. You'll see his hand come out the window. He's mad. He turns into Boyer. Unfortunately, Boyer spins and takes out an innocent Carl Edwards.
Dave Burns.
Well, Tony Stewart is on pit road to serve this penalty. Greg Zipadelli has been having a very, very heated discussion with the NASCAR official down here. I've never seen Greg Zipadelli as mad as this. He looked immediately back to last week, an incident where no drivers were penalized in Loudon, New Hampshire, where his driver was involved with Ryan Newman. And guys, I've never seen Zip this mad. They're going to put 2 tires on the left side while they're here. They took 2 on the last stop. And he'll have 4 matched fresh tires, but not happy at all down here.
There's some damage to the back of the 20 of Tony Stewart's car. Take a look here on pit road.
He's coming down pit road, and
is that Carl Edwards that did that?
Carl Edwards was behind him. Another look.
I think Carl's going to be sitting for a lap now.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out. Carl could be in timeout when we come back to Pocono. You're watching NASCAR on TNT.
2006 was definitely an interesting time for Tony Stewart. He was at the top of his game, but yet he still missed the playoffs, the chase for the cup at the time. Tony Stewart would miss the postseason due to wrecks, misfortune, and at the time, being black flagged at Pocono. Tony Stewart would intentionally wreck the 07 car down the front stretch, collecting Carl Edwards in the process. Edwards, having none of it, decided to wreck Tony Stewart on pit road a few caution laps later. This would ensue both of them getting a rough driving penalty and being held on pit road. Both of these drivers got black flagged, and both of these drivers had an abysmal day after that. We talked about it earlier, the 2 car, the 24 car, Miller Lite and DuPont, but this time it was AARP on Jeff Gordon's hood. Jeff Gordon and Brad Keselowski would get into it at Texas. Man, Jeff Gordon has had a lot of Texas moments. Jeff Gordon and Brad Keselowski entering turn number 1 would bang doors, essentially cutting Jeff Gordon's tire just a few feet later. Gordon would then spin out, bringing out the caution, but what would ensue after this would be the biggest brawl in NASCAR we've ever seen. The entire pit crew members of Jeff Gordon and Brad Keselowski would start fist fighting on pit road after this. This would ultimately cost Jeff Gordon a shot at a 5th title in 2014.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we were sitting there on a little bit older tires. Yeah, I spun the tires a little bit, but I got a pretty decent start. You know, and we went down into 1, and I just wanted to get the outside of the 48. And out of nowhere, I just got slammed with the 2, and it cut my left rear tire. And he's just a dipshit, you know. I mean, the way he races, I don't know how he's ever won a championship, and I'm just sick and tired. I mean, that's why everybody's fighting him and running him down. And you know, your emotions are high. That was a huge, huge race for us. We had the car, we had the position. So proud of my team, and I'm proud of Jimmy Johnson for winning that race, not letting that, you know what, win that race. Oh my God.
The conflict with Brad on pit road. You came out, you pulled on the pit road to talk to him. Tell us about what the conversation was and what happened.
There wasn't any conversation. You can't have a conversation with him. I mean, you know, he beats his own drum, gets himself in this position himself, and he's got to pay the consequences. And, you know, I'm going to race him the same way he races me, but that kind of stuff's just uncalled for, and I'm not going to stand for it.
Two of the most aggressive drivers on the racetrack are Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano. Neither one of them will ever give an inch to another competitor, and neither one of them will ever claim they're in the wrong. This has happened time and time again in both drivers' careers, and both of them came to a clashing point at Martinsville in 2019. Coming off of turn number 4 at Martinsville, Hamlin would squeeze Logano into the wall after being roughed up a little bit. Logano's tire would be cut down as he would intentionally bring out the caution, causing even more controversy. After the race, Logano and Hamlin would walk over to one another and have some words. Joey Logano would try to do this baby slap on Hamlin and then run away. Hamlin already said in an interview he wasn't going to take any of that. So what does he do? He chases after Joey Logano, and then the fight breaks out. Even in their post-race interviews, it was pretty hilarious. Logano wanting an apology and Hamlin making fun of Logano. This was one of the greatest moments in NASCAR in 2019.
That's Joey. It's scared. He said, "Do you want to go?" I said, "Yes, I'm here." But then he runs away, so.
What was the altercation on track that led to it?
I got close off of turn 4. It looks like we got together, and it looks like collateral damage. He blew a tire, but I mean, he would probably say, short track racing.
You gonna try and find him after this?
No, I don't need to find him.
Pretty frustrated. I mean, he just kind of came off the corner like there wasn't on a car on the outside of him. And ruined our day. A shot to win for sure, and we probably weren't going to beat the 19, but we had a top 5 for sure coming our way if we just were able to survive there. And I don't really know what happened, because once he started hitting me, he didn't lift. He just kept finishing me off. Honestly, I just wanted to see what he was going to say, and he really wasn't apologetic at all. So that's more frustrating when someone's like that, isn't it? When someone wrecks you and is like, that's not really what I was going for there. So.
The 2011 season saw a rivalry boiling over between Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch, two drivers' careers that were clashing at the perfect moment. Busch and Harvick, wanting a championship so desperately, were racing harder than ever before. Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick would get into it at Darlington, and then they would have some amazing words between one another in the media center.
You know, yesterday, Kyle's explanation was he had a flat tire and hooked me on the straightaway. So it's kind of one lie after another, and when you hook somebody in the right rear quarter panel, that's the equivalent as throwing your gloves off in hockey. It's, that's the point where everybody's reached the boiling point.
Apparently he's watching too much hockey, but that's what you do in your own time during the week, I guess. To me, I did have a left rear tire flat, and I wasn't sure that if I turned too hard to the right to stay off of him or to get away from him, that the car would actually spin out the wrong way. My car would. So, believe that for what it's worth.
Whether I was right or wrong, they're gonna back me up, and I'll do the same for them. So that's the great part about our team, and the 18 team not backing him up. I mean, when you don't have a backbone, how can you back somebody up?
In line with you.
And Martin Truex Jr., this is what happened. Just after they finished.
Kyle knew the 2 was there.
He's there. Oh, and look at this. The 24 just went around. And here comes the 29. Can he get to him?
We're still green. Still green. Busch wins it.
Woo! I think there was some other contact before that, though. I think that's how Jeff got by Matt.
Bobby Labonte almost involved in that one.
How about old Carl Edwards?
Jeff Gordon out of his car, and he's not happy with Matt Kenseth.
Boy, that's totally out of character.
In the closing laps of the 2013 Bristol race, Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano would make contact, sending Logano around. Logano's day would be over. This was Joey Logano's first season at Penske, and he definitely wanted to make an impression. He told Denny Hamlin after the race, "When I see you next, I will wreck you." Denny Hamlin thought none of it because he was used to Logano running in the back. But ultimately, 1 week later, Logano was actually running up front for the lead. And who was he racing? None other than Denny Hamlin. And you could already guess what would happen next.
It's just we finished bad, he finished bad. It's it's even.
What did he say inside the car?
He said he was coming for me, so I usually don't see him, so it's usually not a factor.
All right, thanks, Denny.
Busch, there's contact. Here's Busch to the outside to take the top spot. Kyle Busch will just power around the outside. Meanwhile, Hamlin and Logano make contact. Hamlin's in the fence, and Kyle Busch is going to win at the Auto Club Speedway in an unbelievable 3-wide pass as they worked off turn number 3. Hamlin into the inside retaining wall. Joey Logano will finish 6th.
Did I intentionally wreck him? No, I did not intentionally do that. If I was going to do that, I would have hit him in the left rear tire. I feel like I hit him in the door. I hate to see him get hurt. I feel like the comments after the race that I made were taken way out of context. I feel like, I just got off a pit road, off a heated moment there that caught me way off gun, or way off, where I thought was going to happen. And then, then a microphone gets shoved in your face. And you have, it was a minute after what happened on pit road. So obviously my mind wasn't straight, and I didn't know Denny was hurt. There's no way for me to know. I think I got taken way out of context of, way I meant anything.
Thoughts? In the interview there, he's saying it wasn't intentional. But 3 different instances, he had a chance to say, it wasn't intentional, and all 3 times he said it was. So there's no doubt in my mind that it was intentional. Did he intend on me getting hurt? I don't believe so.
Tony Stewart and Brian Vickers, 2 drivers that held back nothing when it came to anger moments. Tony Stewart and Brian Vickers would end up wrecking each other time after time at Sonoma in 2011, and it ended with Tony Stewart being on top of the tire barriers in turn 11.
So the attitude kind of, what the heck, I'll let him go and then pay it off.
And I can guarantee you that
all clear.
All Vickers has been thinking about since he got turned by Stewart was getting in a position to do this.
Looking for him. Where's that 14?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when Vickers got turned around earlier, Ryan Pemberton, his crew chief, was giving him the play-by-play of what happened. Vickers said, "I know, I felt it."
Yeah,
One more time.
This is early. Okay, now this is just now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Vickers comes from the left side of the racetrack, or on your screen comes from the right side of the racetrack across to run in the back of Tony.
Now, this is what happened earlier in the race. It's a run board with Stewart. That's Vickers up ahead. They're going down in 11. Stewart just leans on him and keeps leaning and keep leaning, and just pushed Vickers into the tires down there.
And you know what, really, and Tony, and we've seen this twice.
During the 2020 All-Star race, Bubba Wallace, who had a great shot at advancing into the All-Star race, was wrecked by Michael McDowell, and his post-race interview was extremely disrespectful. He was so upset at McDowell for this incident that he called him out multiple times. As you could tell, Wallace was furious with the incident, and he was going to let McDowell know how furious he was. This would ultimately cost Bubba Wallace a shot at making the All-Star race, and it was only on lap 5.
Race car at the start of this race, some aggressive moves, working your way up through the field. Bubba, from what we saw on TV, there was contact going into 3. What did it feel like in the car?
Oh, just disrespect. And when you get hooked into the wall, my hair looks terrible. Sorry, Mom. When you get hooked right rear in the wall, it's I don't even need to see a replay. Look at that. Yeah, wow. People say one of the nicest guys in the garage. Can't wait for the God-fearing text that he's going to send me about preaching and praise and respect. What a joke he is.
Michael McDowell up the racetrack. Oh, it's Michael's
just turned around and hard in the wall.
Bubba Walsh decided, I'm going to move you up out of the groove. He does that. And it just, boy, hard to see. Bubba came up a little bit earlier on the straightaway, but then the 34 came back down and clipped him in that right rear.
One driver you never really see get into any confrontations in his entire NASCAR career was Dale Earnhardt Jr. Even though he was the most favorited by fans, he never really ruffled any feathers. But when he did, it was pretty interesting. The first one was with Carl Edwards in the 2006 Busch Series race at Michigan. They would make contact with each other coming off of turn number 2, sending Edwards spinning to the inside wall and ending his day. This was also with 2 laps to go and NASCAR didn't have overtime. So Dale Jr. was declared the winner and Edwards was extremely upset.
Checkers. If the caution comes out, and here comes Carl Edwards back out on the track.
Carl runs into the 8 car.
And he waved to him. See you tomorrow, I think he said. I'm going home.
Oh, I just was, man, I was having a good time racing. Our Henkel guys did a great job. And he just wrecked me off too. So I just want to make sure, he knew that I was mad that he wrecked me. But, oh, well, that's racing. I don't know what else to say.
And you requested that they review the video?
Well, I'm sure. NASCAR had a meeting with us the other day, Tony and I, and said they weren't going to stand for that stuff, so we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I hope Dale's, I don't know what to say. It's racing. I was just upset.
There it is.
Oh.
All right, explain that one, Jamie. Break that down.
Well, there's not much to break down. That looked like there must have been something earlier happen, and that was a retaliation for it. There's really no reason for anyone to do what Ben Rhodes has done to Christian Eckes there. To right rear someone on the straightaway is really not acceptable.
I don't think you guys realize how hard I just about knocked the wall down. I was going straight at it with the wheel turn, and it got away from me. That's unfreaking believable. He runs me straight to the wall every corner. That's what happens. You can't run somebody straight to the wall.
More radio here.
I'm going to enjoy this fight after the race. It's unbelievable. I have my wheels turned all the way to the freaking 7 o'clock position, out of the throttle, trying not to hit the wall because he runs me out of the groove. And then when I get back on the straightaway, snaps, takes him out. What do you think is going to happen when you run people like...
This is Ben Rhodes. He's a NASCAR Truck Series champion, for crying out loud. These things you do on the racetrack reflect your character, and I still can't believe that Ben Rhodes wasn't suspended at Texas for this incident. He intentionally right-hooked Christian Eckes hard into the outside wall at Texas in a very dangerous situation. Thankfully, he was okay after this, but I would be furious if I was Eckes and NASCAR.
Right on the bottom of the racetrack, they'll be side by side down the back straightaway. Ooh, man, that was tight off turn 2. He's got him. I believe he's got him this time. Oh, he turned him.
No.
Oh, he turned him. No.
Now here comes Clint Boyer to take the yellow flag.
Oh, no.
I'm sure you can remember back to me.
It's really impressive. He's able to hang this time. They've been working on that car.
They got together.
And Kyle Busch goes around.
It's weighed 185 laps, Dale.
I guess I was wrong about that.
I think you meant 2 laps.
Twice today.
But it looked like just hard racing to me.
So there's certainly going to be different opinions.
One inside. Stay low. Keep digging there. Caution's not out.
The 2012 NASCAR season was by far one of the most underrated seasons I've ever watched. It had a great championship battle between Brad Keselowski and Jimmy Johnson. But do you know who was also in the mix for that championship that year? Clint Boyer. Yes, Clint Boyer driving for Michael Waltrip Racing. Earlier in the season, he would accidentally overdrive turn number 1 at Martinsville, taking out Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson. Jeff Gordon had had run-ins with Bowyer in the past, and by the end of the season, he had had enough. Clint Bowyer, who was on the verge of having a shot at the championship the next week at Homestead, was taken out by Gordon late in the race because he ran into Gordon just a couple laps prior. Gordon was so upset he admitted to NASCAR he wrecked him on purpose. That's how furious Jeff Gordon was at Bowyer. Ultimately, no fines or suspensions would be handed out to Gordon, and Bowyer would lose a shot at the championship, all because Gordon lost his temper.
He's turning Clint Bowyer into the wall, collecting Joey Logano. Caution flag is out.
That was a real act of a champion.
Almirola slides in. Did the leader take the white flag before the caution came out?
Years worth of frustration.
Oh, conflict. The crews are in it. And somewhere in the middle of that is Jeff Gordon.
I'm sure Clint Bowyer wants his opportunity at this. Can't really blame him.
That's stupid.
Racing for 5th position, then this the payback. As Brad Keselowski, the championship leader, right in front of him, finds enough room to get by.
If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Also, if you've liked this video, I'm pretty sure these videos will catch your eye also.